Hello everyone, welcome back. In the previous lecture on getting started with Google Colab, we have installed Google Colab in your Google Drive and we opened that Google Colab and imported TensorFlow. And as you can see that this file, whatever the file you have created, it will save in whatever the destination folder you have set. For example, I created the Google Colab in my Drive, Logistic Regression, and TensorFlow. I right-click that and created the new Google Colab, and this is what it's mean. So we can open that Google Colaboratory notebook by just double-click here. So I just double-click that and just wait for a few seconds until it gets open. Okay, this is what the file what we have used, and we imported the TensorFlow 2.2. So what we will do now is just first we connect that to the GPU. In the previous settings, we use the GPU. Let's connect that. Just wait for a few seconds until it gets connected. Yeah, now it's got connected. So let me change the name. Instead of untitled 0, let me change the name to 01. It's my TensorFlow and V2 TensorFlow version 2, and it is what my creating tensors. Okay, now let's execute this TensorFlow version 2.x and import TensorFlow and check the version again. Right, now there are three ways of creating the tensors. So creating tensors is my heading, creating tensors. There are three ways of creating. One is through list, and second is through array using numerical Python, and third one you can use straight away the TensorFlow constants. Okay, so there are three ways that what we'll see now. First, what I will do is that I'll create the basic list, and let me name it as my list is equal to, let me create a list with 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and this is what the list I have created. And if you look into the data type of my list, my underscore list, and this is what my list is, a list. Perfect. Now what I will do is that you can, using TensorFlow, I can convert this data type. Converting data type using TensorFlow. Okay, so how to do that? Let me name it as individual tf, and this is what my list is equal to tf dot convert to tensor, and you can see the suggestion says that it's a value. So what you need to do is that basically you have to pass the value. Means the value in this case, it's an object, my list, comma, and the data type, just specify the data type if you want, and I'll specify the data type tf dot float 32. 32-bit is what the data type I'm setting it now. So execute that. So now we can see that it is successfully converted into TensorFlow. Into tensors. Let me check the data type. tf underscore list. As you can see that it was the TensorFlow.Python framework OPS eager tensor. Okay, so this is what the data type in tensor, and this is what the specially used the eager tensor is actually the tensor. It is available only in the newer version of TensorFlow. Basically, the entire TensorFlow 2 version 2 is completely on eager approach. In the TensorFlow version 1, it's not an eager approach, it's basically the graphical approach. We'll talk more about that eager and also the graphical approach in the coming lecture series. Before that, let's try to understand how to create any data type into the tensors. Now let's create a multi-dimensional list. Like, I can create the multi-dimensional list saying that nothing but my nested list. Within the list, let me create one more list, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and this is my list. You can print the my list, and this is basically the list of basically this representation is called list with only one row. Okay, and basically it's a one-dimensional tensor. So let's create how to convert that into TensorFlow. So tf dot convert to tensor. So my underscore list. Okay, and let me change the data type to tf dot float 32. Okay, and let me name it as my list 1. Oh, this is a float, not floated at 21. It's a float 32 bit. Exactly. Yes, now we can see that it's successfully converted. Let me print that, what is the tf list 1 and tf list. First, let me print tf underscore list. And tf underscore list is what the normal list which was I used is a simple list, consists of 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And this is what the output of the tensor. It says that it is tensor. Actually, it's a 0-dimension tensor with just a simple tensor. And what you can see is just a values, and the shape that's specified is 5 comma something, means it's neither a column matrix nor a row matrix, or it's not at all a vector at all. Okay, and the data type, it is float 32. Okay, and now let me print the tf underscore list 1. Let me print this first. And as we can see that it says that its shape is 1 comma 5. And the rank of this matrix is 1. It is basically a one-dimension tensor, 1D tensor. Basically, it is simple like a it's simply like a row matrix. Any row matrix or a column matrix we call as a 1D tensor. So this is how I can create a 1D tensor using the nested list. Got it? So let me create the column-wise tensor. So using my list, and let me name it as a column, I can create the nested list within a list. Let me create the one list 1 and comma, one more list 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let me convert that into tensor. So tf underscore list 2, it's not hyphen, underscore, is equal tf dot convert to tensor my list column and specify the data type. It is tf dot float 32 bit. Now let me print it, tf underscore list 2. Let me print that. Let's see now what it displays. So it shows that it is a column vector or one-dimension tensor with the column wise, and the shape of that it is 5 rows and 1 column. That is what we can see from the list.